Okay, so for today's opener, we're going to solve the equation. I'm not going to make you use the additional space to check your answer using substitution. If you choose to do that, though, when you go to take your quiz today, you can earn extra credit points. So let's take a look at the first equation. So we're solving equations with variables in multiple locations, part 1. We're going to do part 2 notes on tomorrow, Thursday. So when you solve an equation, we're going to circle our variable. This time we're going to circle our multiple variables. Now, when I've been grading worksheets or even looking at openers, a lot of you guys are not circling your variables. That's going to be an easy point to either get or an easy point to get taken against you. So make sure you're circling those variables. When you go to solve equations with multiple variables, the first thing that you do is simplify each side of the equation. Well, looking here on the left side of our equation, we just have -1. So that's already in simplest form. So I'm just going to bring that -1 down and my equal sign down. But my right side is not simplified. So then I need to go in a certain process, and according to our notes, it says you first have to see if you can distribute. Well, on my right side here, can I distribute? Yeah, what number am I going to use to distribute? I think I heard it. -3. So you're going to take that -3 and distribute to both numbers inside the parentheses. Now, what am I going to do with this 4f right now? Anything? Nah, so I'm going to just go ahead and bring that 4f down so I don't forget about it. So then, -3 times 2f equals? Just -6? F. Then I take -3 times what? -3 times what? Which will be? +9. Good. After I distribute, the next step I do is what? Combine like terms. So what are my like terms here? 4f and -6f. So what's 4f minus 6f? Just like that? There you go. And what do I bring on down? And what else? -1 on the left side. So after I distributed, after I combine like terms, the last step is just solve as usual. So if I'm going to solve as usual here, what do I get rid of first? No, I want to get the variable by itself.
Oh, +9.
So I'm going to get rid of that +9 by subtracting 9. So that cancels on my right. -1 minus 9 equals? -10. Then on my right side, you're going to bring down what? All right. And now we have a one-step equation. This part can be confusing. You have -10 equals -2f. What do you think you're going to do in order to get that f by itself? Divide by what? -2. What do you think some people might have mistakenly done? Yeah, don't do that. So what's -10 divided by -2? Just 5. It's funny, yesterday we had a problem like this on the opener as well, if you remember. Somebody in my 6th hour, as soon as I said, now remember, and they're like, oh, completely forgot. Now, again, you don't have to do this, but if you're going to use the additional space to check your answer using substitution, you would basically rewrite the equation, but every time you see the variable f, what would I substitute for it? What do I say f equals? What did we say f equals? 5. So every time I see that variable f, what do I substitute for it? 5. So 4 times what? So I put it in parentheses. Minus 3, parentheses, 2. So what do I substitute for 5? Or for the f? So do I just put it like that?
No, you gotta put the little thing.
Parentheses around it. Minus 3. So again, you don't have to do this, but let's just see. So now we're going to simplify. We're going to see if we get the same answer on each side of that line of equation. So my right side, because there are no variables, I use order of operations the correct way, right? No variables, order of operations the correct way. Bless you. Bless you. So, according to order of operations the correct way, I'm going to start with parentheses first. So what do I do inside of the parentheses first? which is? Okay. Then what do I do within that parentheses? Which is?
Oh, 7.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring that 7 down in parentheses. Then I bring down everything else that I haven't solved with yet. Okay? Now, after I do parentheses, I do exponents. Do I have any exponents there? No. Do I have any multiplication?
Yes.
Where?
What's up, 5?
Which is? And where's my other multiplication? What type of 3 is that? Negative 3 times 7, which is? Okay. And then my last step, what do I do? Well, what's 20 minus 21? Negative 1. So do I have the same number on each side of that line of equality? Yeah. So is our answer correct? Is F equal 5? So what would I put next to it?
Change.
Yeah. So that's how you would do that if you want to try to go for that extra credit on your quiz today. All right, let's look at the back side here. So hopefully you all circled your variables. You have that line of equality. And now I'm ready to simplify. What do I do first when I go to simplify this equation? What do I do first in order to simplify this equation?
Distribute.
Good. What am I going to distribute first?
2.
With the 2. Good. So what's 2 times n?
2.
Then 2 times what type of 7 is that?
Negative.
So it's going to be a
Negative 14.
negative 14. Good. I don't like how that looks. Sorry. Okay. Then what do I do? Using? Okay, so negative 5 times 2n.
Negative 2.
And then negative 5 times negative 1.
5.
Now that I distributed, I'm ready to... Almost.
Like term.
Yeah, so my like terms here are 2n and negative 10n. And my other like terms are negative 14 and... Okay, so let's start with our variable first. So what's 2n minus 10n?
Negative 8.
Negative 8n. Then negative 14 plus 5. Oh, thank you. What's negative 14 plus 5?
Negative.
It is negative 9. Equals negative 1. Now what?
Plus 9.
Plus 9. Cancel. So I have negative 8n equals negative 8. Oh, no, not negative 8, right?
It's just 8.
It's just 8. Erase that. And now what?
Divide by negative 8.
Good. Divide by negative 8, which would then equal negative 1. Even better. All right. Now, you don't have to do this, but we're going to substitute to see if we're right. So every time I see the variable n, what do I plug in for it? Negative 1. So I'm going to put 2 times, or parentheses, negative 1 minus 7 minus 5, parentheses, 2. What do I have to put around that negative 1 now? Parentheses, minus 1 equals negative 1. All right, let's check to see if we're right. What do I do first here? I work my parentheses. So, what's negative 1 minus 7? Negative 8. Then what's, now we work our other parentheses. So what do we do first in this set of parentheses here? Okay, so what's 2 times negative 1? And then negative 2 minus 1? Negative 2 minus 1, say it again. No. Negative 2 minus 1.
It's just 10.
Negative two.
You said negative 2 minus 1.
Right?
It's
It's in the
negative
three.
3.
Yeah. So we're going to bring that down in parentheses. Okay, now what do I do? Multiply. What am I multiplying?
2 times negative 8.
Which is?
Negative 6.
Then what do I multiply?
Negative 5 times
Which is?
Positive 15.
Positive 15. Then what do I do?
You drop that.
What's negative 16 plus 15?
Negative 1.
So do I have the same number on each side?
Yeah.
So my answer is correct. Now what if my answer was wrong? What if it didn't end up equaling out? Then I need to check where I made a mistake, right? All right, any questions?